Do we do it just like this? Started with the barking at the beginning of this again, like I'm trying to tell you that I'm gonna do a lot of things with standard poodles. Yeah, I mean what I say. All right, no way. Metronome Madness episode 23. I'm in between doing some things and something else as well. So as I sit here and take a deep dive, I'm searching inside the hole that I find a lot of water in when I'm watering down the things I've been doing, trying to make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. It's bigger to me, bigger than steel. Cause I'm a man, a superhero, nah, not me, bro. I'm gonna say this though. We call it Metronome Madness for a reason. It's a different kind of season. At least it's getting close to it. The fall time's coming. We're running into our blankets to try to hide ourselves from the truth, from the fact that things change, dude. Boxing the beat, seeing if I can knock it out and stay on my feet. I'm just doing some things. Changing a lot of people's lives with the things that they like to wear all the time. Clothing, am I right? It's a clothing company. Cup of tea. I've said it, but I'm gonna let it sit and marinate a little bit. I'm just sitting on the grass. In fact, I'm back to this. Y'all missed the metronome, the tempo, bro. I'm gonna go back to the olden roads, the olden days when I would roam around the place and drive inside my Geo Tracker. Shout out to the brand again. I'm branding them like I own a thing or two, but I don't know a thing, dude. But I know some things about you. And a lot of people don't know who they really are. So I'm gonna tell them a little bit of information that'll change their life. No matter what nation they're from, they're a son or daughter of Jesus Christ. I'm not joking with things that I'm saying. I'm laying a lot of words down that'll come to fruition later. I don't need no saber to be a person who can slice right through some things, spreading some information with the word of mouth. I don't need to be a swordsman, see. I'm gonna just write some things down. I got a mighty pen. It's mightier than the sword. But I'm gonna win an award or two for doing some things that you thought I couldn't do. Call it Metronome Madness. Y'all don't know that I can keep the tempo when often I'm just off of it. I'm not off of this though. I've been on it, just diving in to the depth I need to lay a foundation for the thing that I'm gonna be spending the rest of my life doing. In the Image Clothing Company and Evan Strong are one, by the way. By the wayside. I've been like yay high before, just a little kid. Sort of grew up a bit, but I'm growing up just to learn things that I can teach other people. We got some people here with what they call a remote control car. We're not in control, not even remotely. I don't know if you think that I'm floating across these words or if you think that I don't know what I'm doing. But I don't care, because I'm going to keep moving. Because there's this idea of just keep on going no matter what anyone thinks and no matter what they think you're trying to show them. But you're showing what you're showing. So sometimes it takes some time to realize what's really going on. So I'll just keep doing this as I do, regardless what they think or he thinks or you. And as time progresses, we learn some lessons about not judging a book by its cover and not covering up things with our labels and looking at them as they really are. Yeah. I used to beatbox a lot. And then it faded out a bit. I used to fade my hair, cutting it myself, Started doing a lot of things on my own and started to see that being alone can help you understand why you're here to roam this earth. It's a lot of things that are of a lot of worth. Call it a pearl of great price. Hidden treasures. Some meanings in things that otherwise don't seem to be meaningful to you or me. There's a lot of things that we do. In between the time of birth and death, it's like a rehearsal, just backward one time from the other, but which one do we start with? You gotta be born to die, but are we just born to die? Or is there a moment in there where we can feel alive? There's a lot of things that we're all trying. But how many things in life can you actually try to do without improving on at least one or two? Jump from thing to thing and your wedding rings just seem to keep piling up in the corner of the room. You're throwing the last one off because the last one was off to the next one as well. And so were you. Every ship's made to sail, but I've been harboring a lot of truths that I need to let go and give to the youth. Some people in a discombobulated kind of society. That's literally what I said. Which is ironic because that's how we are a lot of times, most of our life, until we are dead. Not in a society, but in a sin-ciety, sin city. You begin to tell me some things are looking pretty. You say they're sitting pretty. I think they're different. Give me a different kind of perspective on life, one where I can actually find some good things, like a wife, someone who will actually be there when I need, because I'm there when she needs some things, and in between the good and bad times, we're still trying to find how we got so lucky. No such thing as luck. Like a sitting duck, though, waiting for some blessings sometimes. Yeah. So in the meantime, I'll just crunch some rhymes. Off the top, Metronome Madness. Y'all can't get mad at this. That's what I say, because y'all can't catch this. It's unpredictable, right? Like a bigger bowl, full with a lot of things inside of it. You might just get sick of trying to get to the bottom of it. But I'm gonna get to the bottom of this. Solving a case or two. Searching in case you knew. I'm gonna tell you as if you didn't. There's a lot of things that we're often missing when we're looking at it at face value. Because our faces are something that outdo the makeup we tend to put on, making up what we think we are. We make it up until it's gone. The show for the afternoon or the evening. Do we even see what's underneath? Ourselves? We're making a scene for somebody else. And let me tell you, that won't help. Not you or me or him or her, and I don't do it, so I'm exempt from a thing or two that I don't do. I'm living in a life of a lot of options and stopping before I try one. I try to be done sometimes before it starts, when I can tell it's not going anywhere. I think one day a lot of these things will mean a lot more than they do in the present. We're unwrapping our gifts later. They say don't open till Christmas. And I say don't open on Christmas. A lot of people got it on their wish list that they could get some things just because they want it. On a holiday that's often what they say it is. But that's often not the truth. Holidays, more like a holy place. A place that gets so misconstrued and misunderstood. Going back in time, you asked me if I'd like. Yeah, I wish I could. Because the modern day is such a crazy place at least. A place where we only feast on the things that we think we want. We look at it with our eyeballs and we all just cry and bawl over the things that we think would be so cool to have for a week until we get weak at the knees over something else that leaked. A new release. It's new, at least. That's what we're thinking. Always searching for the next thing has got us sinking. Running out of gas before we get back to the land. Land ho, but you're landing though, straight on the ocean floor. Dead. Drown in the sorrows of all the things you say, although I didn't know what it would do to me. I ran at it at top speed, and there was no stopping me. Just trying to achieve my dreams. We gotta see what's underneath. Wake up a little bit. Look up a little bit. Look up the word innocence and see what it really means. Firefighters are running to their truck. I'm not even kidding. But that's how a lot of us act. Without a reason. Where's the fire, we're asking people, and they're just saying it's a different season. I gotta move to something else and I need help moving as quick as I can, but they forget the breezing, the wind that just sometimes goes a little bit slow but still continues to roll down the road. All the leaves and all the things that tend to be something different. In about a week, these dudes are packing up. No joke. Where's the fire? A real question to ask in this case. Who's ready to just take a break and sit down, relax a little bit on the grass? Call a spade, I say it as it is. I'm a straight shooter. Pretty accurate with the target I hit when I'm shooting for the truth, dude. Sometimes you don't know why you're doing what you're doing, but you just know you gotta do. How fast do you want to move? It's metaphoric, do you get it? Call it confirmation. I call it a comfortable place when we get used to trying to change everything. Because a lot of times it's so much easier to take action than to just let things be. The movies portray it well. A lot of people in their own jail, stuck inside this mindset where they're set on changing everything else except themselves. Looking outside of ourselves to find what's within. You know what we're really doing? We're moving farther away from authenticity to find the things that are in the biggest of the cities. The highest heights. The trees aren't big enough for you, huh? You go build a building, something as tall as you can, to see if you can really be the man. Sit in the top floor of that place. Till they fire you and hire someone new to do the same job that you did, kid. You thought it was so great? Yeah, wait until the judgment day. You find yourself on your knees, beg and please. Your whole life you were trying to climb the trees and find the things that were the tallest, and now you're just all in the dirt. Humbled at last because there's no other option besides stopping your own progression. Try to teach yourself a lesson at the last second. On your deathbed, resting your head trying to apologize to people for all the evil you did along the way. But along the way, you didn't even care about a thing. Crazy or what? Did it hit you enough? The truck of truth? That's actually nuts. Call it an alliteration. I'm not illiterate because I'm saying the words here that are speaking to you, cutting you straight to the center, dude. Right? Am I right? Or am I wrong? Or am I just sitting here off the top with this song because I don't write a single thing, so I don't care if you think that I am. Let me be wrong. Let me sing my song of incorrect, and what the heck, is this even a real lyricism, or is this kid sitting here thinking he's doing something and he's just kidding himself more than anyone else? Because who's going to listen to this type of stuff off the tempo, off the top of what? Toppling off again, falling down to the bottom, and then realizing who I really am. Call it Metronome Madness. You gotta be a little bit mad, kids. Mad at the world to understand that you're the one that's mad in the world. So be out of it. You know, they talk about you being out of it, like you're not in the right state of mind. But in this state, I don't mind looking at things like I'm outside. The boxes. So many people are stopping before they get to a place because they feel like the race and all the rules that are set for it is what they want to focus on more than just doing authentic things. I'm choking up, literally. Legitimately choking on the words that I'm saying because of how hard they hit. And I've been saying this stuff since I was just a kid, but who's going to listen to a kid? Some adults who understand that that's all that they'll ever get is their childhood. For the whole time they're here on this earth, it's good to be a child. Call me childish. Talk about it like I'm in my terrible twos. I've been after this for a long time. The ability to be able to sit here, even when I got nothing else to do. I used to always find myself trying to find something else to do. If I move here, if I go there, if I own some fancy clothes and start to wear some things that make me look like somebody else that I've seen on a top shelf when I'm sitting on the bottom again, are they gonna be calling me in to the group of the cool kids when I'm sitting here alone, just trying to find out how to get back to a place where I don't feel like I have to groan every day, where I wake up looking at life and feeling like it's just a circle again, but not the circle that I like. A circle where I feel trapped inside of this revolving door. What are we revolving for? Around the sun every week or day or wait, I don't even care to know. A lot of places I do not care to go. And that was always the case as a kid, is trying to find a place that I could just be myself, away from the place that I was, rather than just being who I was in the place that I was. Trying to escape to above. Float on home. I actually do think it's really cool, though, the fact that who knows, if anybody will ever listen to this or care a bit about the things I sit and speak about when I sit here and start to pout about how the world is such a weird place again when I'm lacing them up. The shoes I got, dog, because I'm still just a pup, and I know some things, some innocence, I'm in it just a little bit, I guess. It's just that I don't want to talk about some things that I don't want to talk about, so please just leave me alone. And I say it because it's true, and I mean it, dude. I don't like to do the kind of things like you because I'm not like you. But I like you. Just from a distance, please. I've been missing these kind of things, just the loose kind of flows I leave, like a loose leaf I need to drop some things. It's fall, at least it's close to it, so I'm gonna have a nice trip again on this wordplay that I'm playing with. I'm just hitting a drum roll or two to get it rolling, dude. Get the ball rolling. Y'all rolling in the wrong kind of place. JK, just rolling around some things. It's getting hairy in this pottery barn. Y'all don't even know. Got some seeds that I've sown. Y'all looking around at some things that I'm reaping and everything's just grown. Wondering how it happened though. Y'all didn't see behind the scenes because I'm driving these kind of buses. Driving some people nuts, it's crazy. Say the right thing, people say it's for the wrong reasons. People got a long list of things that they don't want to accomplish. Them and their accomplices, they get along with this kind of life we live as human beings, trying to do some things that we'll never achieve to see if we can be the top dog in these kennels while we're all locked in our own minds. You don't mind, right? If I do some things out of the ordinary, beat to the beat of my own drum, tweet to the tweet of my own, yeah. Call it a run-on sentence. I've been carrying on with things like a canary. I'm gone with wings, flying again. Y'all just a child. I'm in this kind of rap game. I'm wrapped up in a game. It's crazy. From A to Z, like I say, you need to check these things out again. I'm 26. I'm just like a librarian. I'm Harry. When are you gonna stop asking about some things? I'm just out basking, so please, leave me alone. Can y'all just leave me at home rather than bringing me to this crazy world? All right, I get it. A lesson or two that you're gonna let me learn while I'm down here. Gotta earn a thing or two, huh? Before I can get a thing or two. A lot of people just try to move to the next step before they know how to get their feet off the ground. Y'all been taking off so quick. You always come back around. You always come back into town. Go out and try to find out what's out there. And you find out that you're out of a single care. When you thought you cared so much about all the things that you just thought you'd never touch. You get your hands on it and you want your hands off of it. Fire truck's back. That's why I was saying it like that. Go out of town so quick. Where's the fire? I got wired up on something, running to it as if I needed it, in a delusion. Realized I didn't need that. Just at the wrong time too, because you already left the things and the people who had your back, and now you're back to them and they got your back in the same direction theirs is. They turn their back to you, but you're back. Yeah, a little bit too late. Y'all had your chance. You can't just dance around the subject for so long and think that you can just go on your own path and take everyone else back. A lot of times they won't have you anymore. They got sick and sore of you when you're jumping, dude. Y'all roped up and jumping to conclusions. And so you moved. Moved from who you were to someone entirely different. And they didn't like it a bit. Not at all. They just wanted the real you, dude. And what you did is reel yourself too. The bigger fish in the ocean. Thought you were pulling things to you, but you're just getting pulled around. Like a pole in town, you got your tongue stuck to something in this cold world. You lost your heart. You dropped your art, but it resembles somebody else's. Just about exactly. You made some good things, but you didn't think. So you went to try to be like somebody else. Thinking that that's the thing that could help. You got trapped inside a society of lies. A place that's kind of easier to be in. It couldn't be more real. The gospel of Jesus Christ. A blueprint of navigation to a place that's just a confusing life. I'm sorry to say it, but there's things harder than pavement. Sometimes falling to the ground is the best thing. The things you're falling for, they all just leave. When you hit the ground, at least it's something solid you can rely on. And when you get tired enough, you can lie on to take a rest. But the only kind of rest you're gonna get in a place that's just a bunch of lies is arrested. Because the rest of them do the same thing. And eventually they always get green with envy for someone better than them, or so they think. So they go and drink a big old cup of green juice. You see, dude, trying to get to the top of things, you just skimming across it, and you see dudes flowing again. Like the ocean, we win when we realize that we can try all we want to fight against the waves. But the way we're actually going to get saved is surrendering to the things that need the cadence and tempo that they got. A little bit off the tempo, and they don't stop. You got winds blowing at 1,000,000 knots. Got lots of knots in your hair as well. I think there's a lot of things that we can sail. There's also a lot of things that we can sell. Get rid of it. You don't need it. You're just a bigger fish. And there's always a bigger fish. So calm down a bit. Come back home again. And roam inside your own place. And don't try to make a big old society outside of things that you don't like. Because please, the heights will always leave. When the wind blows, when you blow your nose, you go from being someone who was so hot-headed to losing a little bit of steam, you know what I mean? I think we need to start diving a bit. Realizing that there's depth to things. A surface level world. How much can we actually learn when we start to turn our attention inward? Focus on yourself. Focus on everything else, and everybody else's book is not gonna help. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but you feel like you're just kind of getting tossed around and floating, and now you're just on a place where you don't know if you'll ever come down from until you sink like a rock. So I'm gonna burst your bubble a little bit. Show you that there's some truth out there, dude, and the ground is the same thing you're always gonna hit. It's never gonna move or leave or be something different. I mean, all these other things you're chasing seem to leave. Don't you want a little bit of consistency? At least to a degree. In a way, I mean. Because I like some things that are pretty unpredictable. But I like to know that there's always something I can come back to. Who wouldn't? Right? In a big, confusing life, call it Metronome Madness, because it drives me nuts. I can't catch you like a cashew, dude. Falling out of a tree, that's not the thing for me. To swoop in and be the person to save your soul. But I can save your toll. At least save you from spending some money that you don't want to be spending on something that you don't need. By telling you you're not going to care about it after you do. But it's up to you to listen to me, dude. Sometimes it takes a few mistakes to learn some things. And that's great. It's what life is for. To get a high score and realize that you don't feel like you're any more than you were before. Once you won. But you just want to run to something else to get a high again for like 5 minutes, then what? Well, it's never enough, that's what. That's always how it is. You're always out and in of your true self when you're looking through a place with a lot of things to sell, trying to figure out what to buy. I'd say why? Don't buy into anything. Opt out of it instead. Stop now, and with your head, do a little bit of thinking. If you can get a little bit clear-minded, then the things you like just come and go. Always. What does it really mean to be me? Is that a question that we can ask, please? And who are you going to ask these questions to when you're trying to find out who is the real you? How are you ever going to know? If someone's saying it for your sake or their sake, and trying to make you understand some things that they just want you to believe, please. I don't want to believe a thing that you want me to be. I just want to know who I really am. Because regardless of what I want to try to be, I'm still me. And I've been me since I was just a little person. Searching inside the school, in the elementary. Wondering why they wouldn't let me be. Being childish. It's really the way we get back home, you know. It's actually the case. And last is just the place that we really should be trying to get to. Instead of racing all over. You see what I'm saying? People aren't trying to find something to do. They're trying to find out how to be content with nothing to do. It's extremely easy to find something to do. In a world full of so much you could. Call it a time capsule. Containing my thoughts. Got a lot of lives to help change. Really, I've got one life to help change a lot of lives. Oh, gosh. Got a pinched nerve, bro. Right then when I said what I said, it shocked me. It's funny because we get nervous when things are not what we thought they would be. Electrifying sometimes, right? Life sends the hair up on the back of our neck. Like, what the heck do you expect me to do when I didn't know what was gonna happen to me, dude? How am I gonna react to this? You react how you react. How authentic can you get with things that you just do? Yeah, I'll just do some weird things, you know. And a lot of times we just don't want people to find out what we really do or who we really are inside our own house when everybody else just goes out and tries to be somebody else without a pout inside their mind when things that they don't like end up coming up in their life until they get back home again later and they make a whole big scene about some things when nobody's there to see. You see what I mean? Shoot. What if you showed everything, dude? Put the cuffs on. I've done it all. All the things I've done. I'll take the fall and take the blame for things I did, because how else could I understand a thing if I wasn't me doing things that I did? A lot of people try to claim they didn't do the things they did, and then what? You're lying to yourself. It's one of the worst people to lie to, except for the person who gave you the ability to lie, dude. Is that crazy or what? I'll just be taking a bus back to a camp where I can camp out in a place that's great and not be in this old state. Talking about the state of being the world seems to be in nowadays. I I've seen a lot of things that a lot of people would never win. I think it's time to get a little bit more real with this as I'm reeling it in. Maybe outro again, because I've done it before. Ended some things that I picked up off the floor. I've been through a lot in my life, a lot of things that I did not like, didn't want to see, but had to be a part of, even though I was trying to get myself apart from these things. A lot of abuse, a lot of things as a youth, a lot of not understanding, because I got some people that are trying to get me to understand that things are what they want it to be instead of what the things actually were. The reason I'm so wise, and I don't care if you think that I am at all, but I've been through a lot. And it takes a lot to know a lot, and I know a lot. Sometimes knowing more isn't better. But I've weathered a lot of storms, and now I understand that it's just weather. Whether or not I want to be a part of it, I'm not going to part it just because I want to be part in it. But like Moses did, he parted the whole sea with just a thing in his hand we call a rod or a staff. At least I think that we can see some things that are lining up in Scripture when we look to find where our worth really lies, as in where it relies inside the truth of all things. Because when I'm walking through the valley of the shadow of death, there isn't a shadow of doubt inside the mind that I have been given by my God, that his rod and his staff will comfort me, no matter what it seems to be, coming across the seas. I've been coming to cross some T's, to try to make some things a little bit more intentional when people let them flow a little bit too long, running out. You can't stop it like a faucet. That's what they're trying to tell me. How crazy the world is. I'm not trying to stop a thing. I'm trying to contain a thing or two inside a container, dude, and save it for later. Who's gonna tighten some things up? All these loose ends we got. What are you sending off? My send-off will be a big old thing. You won't miss me, meaning you won't miss it when I leave. I'm gonna make a big old bang and do some things and make it apparent that I was a parent to my parents as a kid. I'm not trying to say this to be a little bit prideful, but in my pride, we all get full because someone's got to pick up the pieces at the end and make some things just work. And nothing seemed to work in my household as a kid. I'm not complaining about this, but there's some things I gotta say just to make it a little bit clearer when I lived in such a muddy place growing up, with a lot of people just sitting there playing in the mud. And I was sick of it. They call me just a kid, say that I'm innocent. How could you know a thing? You don't know what the world even means. Well, I'm looking at it in front of my own eyes. Please. You trying to lie to me? Go ahead, keep lying then. Right? Like I'm in a lion's den. Daniel knows all about it. He wasn't pouting, shouting, or doubting. And I'm gonna get out of this pretty soon. We'll get an outro and go, and I'll just walk around and listen to the things I said here to see what I really left when I left. A legacy behind. Like the tail that I'm dragging with me. I'm like a dragon. I'm sifting through a lot of ash to try to find out why I can't get back to the life that I had before the world got crazy. And then I understand that the world was always crazy and I was sent here to save some things. But I'm the one that needs saving. Please. It's a plead, it's a cry, it's a why can't I ever seem to measure up? Because you're not supposed to. There's some things you just gotta go through. That's where the growth will come to you. And you gotta stop running to it, dude. Just sit back and let it happen. In fact, it's just gonna land in your lap when it's time for it to. But you gotta be okay with some things taking a little bit of time away from you. Because you get what you give. And if I sit here and just talk to some people, help them out a little bit, then I'll be the one that gets helped out when I need it. So it's unconventional. It's different. It's weird. What do you want to call it? Call me whatever you want. Have your opinions and have your things about me that you think that you can understand better than I do because you think I'm a delusional kid who just doesn't even know what's going on inside the place that we're all living in, and I'm running a race that y'all don't want to begin again because it's a race to get back to the truth of all things, and y'all just seem to be running from it, trying to sit in a place of lies. You like to lie down anyway. Yeah, I'm trying to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm doing things. I got to walk again around the world to try to tell some people. Getting tripped up with this. The fact that it just gets keep the harder it hits, the harder it stops at the bottom. It always stops at the bottom. You're trying to really get to the end, pretending yourself, the higher you get, the better you're gonna get. But you're trying to get to the end of this. On a place that just always comes back down. It's like an alarm system. Y'all getting alarmed when I'm hitting them. The points that y'all running around, it's like a dotted kind of place, and you're trying to escape it, evading, just trying not to touch some things, and I'm just slicing right through it. It's not a me versus you kind of movement, but it's a, hey, can we just do this the way it's supposed to be done? I don't even know if it's fun. I don't even care anymore. It's not the kind of search that I'm on to try to find something fun. Yeah, I'm gone. Gone away from fun. Gone away from trying to like some things. I left that train in the past. I'm not even joking either. I think that's why it's funny, because it might seem like I'm just joking. As I just sit here, I'm just kind of like speaking into nowhere, so it seems, but I'm sowing seeds. If y'all don't know what it means, I'll tell you this one last phrase. If you can understand the things that last take a little bit of time, you'll understand why I've been sitting here saying all these rhymes. And I'm not joking about that. And as time goes on, you will know that that's a fact. So just wait and see. I'll leave it on a hard-hitting, heavy note because it's not a joke. No matter what it seems like. I'm not trying to prove a point, but I'm making some points, and they'll prove themselves. The proof is in the pudding. The proof is in what I'm doing. The fruits of my labor will help you understand later why I've done the things at the beginning to prune the tree and grow some things and take care of things by nourishing the thing I've been given again, and I'm just pruning it down a bit. That's why I'm sitting down again on the carpet, the grass, a place where a lot of people sit and laugh at the words that I say when I'm saying all these words that I'm just sitting here starting to play with. Because I don't like to play, kids, but I like to play with people's ability to have a real conversation and see if I can get them to settle into it a bit. You got to kind of tweak with some things a little bit to understand what's underneath. It's not allowing it to be what it is. alteration. Y'all just say it's how it is in this place that we've landed in. Modern day world, in this nation that's absurd. Got a bird's eye kind of view. I'm trying to do some things like I'm flying to a different kind of place in outer space. I don't want to come back to this grass and sit. To talk about some things without saying some things that are real. It's off the hook. We often look at the problems of what people say, try to put them in a cage, lock them up for something we didn't want them to say to us. And then we go say some different kind of things on our bus, driving ourselves insane to a different kind of place. We call it a camp. I call it a... There's a reason there's a show called Lady and a Tramp. There's opposition in all things, and I'm out here just bawling, as they say. In other words, I'm hitting it out of the park, opposing the force, throwing it at a different speed in the opposite direction and letting it fly over the fence when I'm stepping over some things just a little bit, crossing a couple lines, trying to find out what really happens if I do. Because a lot of people are afraid to make some waves in an ocean when that's what it's supposed to do. It's an ocean, dude. It's got some motion too. The things it does, instead of a stagnant kind of life you're trying to live inside, where everybody's minding their own understandings of what everybody else is doing. That's really what it comes down to. People trying to claim they're such a good person because they're being what the other people want them to be, and it's not a good person. Is that funny or what? I'm laughing. Because I'm not trapped inside the Matrix. Y'all saying this. It's not even May again. It's September, dude. I'm not tricking you. Who would understand that April showers can bring some things? So I'm out here just dropping a bunch of stuff out of my airplane as I'm flying by you with all these words I'm saying. And I don't understand what you understand, but I don't need to understand some things that you don't need either. So stop trying to search inside the modern day kind of life we have, where we've got the internet and things are just like a web again. They're always entangled in the wrong kind of things, getting us trapped in things that leave. Take it back again and see, because it's September. I told you I'd be dropping some things and falling. Just please fall with me inside the spider web and see if we can let the life we'd like to live just get a little bit closer to us, rather than trying to run to something that we get stuck inside of. How long can you go? Understanding that you don't. About 5 minutes until you try to get it. The answers to the question you've been missing. The point with. Understanding that the point's just that you don't gotta understand it is when you're gonna get the understanding you've been wanting to have. Can we just take a second and sit back? Everybody's on the attack. I'm in defense mode. I'm like a defense. I laugh and I stop because I realize that's the fact, and that's not anything I'm trying to avoid being, but I understand that that's who I am. See, I'm a person that's defending some things, the truth of things that don't leave when everybody else seems to just be attacking me. Sometimes I'm just on the back of the seat. Not because I'm sitting in the back seat, but because I'm climbing up the back of the seat. I'm trying to leave. Y'all attacking me, so it seems. And that's why I'm sowing seeds. Some things that need to defend themselves against the weather that doesn't help the growth they've got. Getting attacked by the storms of life. They're supposed to be getting attacked. And they're swarming like a beehive, trying to get everything else away from them. And they're waiting just for the right moment. Is this crazy or what? How many times do I ask it? How many times you calling me a basket? In case you didn't know, I've been weaving some things up. Call it a spider web. I call it, can we just try to let things be what they are? Y'all getting so scarred up out there tripping and falling. But I guess things just seem to change. September. And I'm a member of this planet we've been given. Just as well as everybody and everything else that's on this earth. The more I try to search for my worth, the more I'll just be left in the dirt. On my knees. If you don't care, I don't care. But I'll tell you, this stuff hits me hard. I don't need a guitar. Try to make some music. I don't need a tempo for me to do it. I don't need a single person to listen to the things that I'm doing. But we live in an ever-changing world on a planet that always stays the same. It moves in time as we move around the thing that gives us the warmth that brings us life, the sun. And no matter how much or how far you want to run, you'll always circle back. On a globe like this, that's just how it works. And the more you start to search, the more you'll find you always come back to the starting line. Because it's one eternal round. Like a turtle shell. We gotta try to find what's inside. To find the true I. Because definitely if we're trying to identify with things outside of the being that we've been given and create some things that we don't want to be, to try to find out the things that we could be, it's only us that leaves. You gotta come back to me. Spoken in third person. For anybody who's speaking the words that we're searching for. Put me on the wall in your room. See if you can hit the target when you throw a dart at it. A lot of people putting people on their walls and worshiping some things. That worship needs to leave. I got a lot to say, and I often wait until it's just a little bit too late for it to be a little bit authentic. And so I'm gonna stop letting myself overthink about some things and just speak when I need to say some words, bro. Because as the world turns, things just happen as they do. You gotta stop getting in the way of things. Just let things move. Just stop feeling so stuck at that point. We got our hands gripped so tightly around some things that just might leave. We'd be better off if they did. But a lot of times we're confusing the things that we don't want to have around with things that we don't want to have around if we're in our right minds. I'm literally starting to cry. Is it crazy or what? Am I crazy or nuts? What are you trying to say? Y'all asking me, ask yourself. Can't even be quiet for a minute, huh? Out there chiming into everything to try to have a better thing to say than the other person who's got the wedding ring because you don't have one yet, and you're trying to say some things to let your frustration show when you don't know how to actually express it in the right kind of way. So you say some things you don't mean. Later you feel all guilty for it. Don't know how to make amends with your friends. So your friends go from being that to being something else that ends. A friendship that sailed. It left you feeling empty. Locking some things, Dave. Keeping up with the Joneses. Eeh. And what you don't know is they're trying to keep up with you. That's something neither one of you can do. So thank you. It's the 5th of September, 2025, Metronome Madness, episode 23. As far as I'm aware, that's the number that we're on here. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of fun. Actually, I don't focus on having fun, but this is the kind of places where I actually have fun with things. So just let me be. My name is Evan Strong. It's the unconventional kind of life you gotta live to live a life that actually means something to you, rather than trying to live for other people and what they tell you that you need to be doing. You'll be empty every time. Every line you write to try to impress another person will leave you searching for another person to try to impress with another line that's not authentic to you. It leaves you back against the net, against the ropes. Again, a joke. Something else to say. To try to relieve the tension. Because you don't want to put the attention on the tension and realize that it's just something else that you can mention. But you want to be mentioning only good things that you think that you can have at all times, always trying to find the best kind of life that you think that would be. And not looking underneath. The surface is only there because it bubbled up from under the bottom of things. You're on an island you built for yourself. From everything underneath getting too hot and boiling up. Settling on the top. But you don't show it as it was. You show it as what it's become. Hardened. Used to just flow so freely, but now it's something that doesn't seem to be what it used to be because it's not. The youth just leaves, the adult version of you comes, and your youth runs. And that's just the thing that you really want, is to be a kid again, and have a vision that doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. And you can sit there and say some nonsense and everybody just lets you be who you really are. Because that's who you really are. So stop trying so hard. Can we? Can we please? The search for authenticity stops when you stop trying to search for things. That's just how it is. Truly. It's a little bit backward, yeah? That's how it is. You sit in the back of the class. And you learn the most. Because you got a vantage point where you can see everybody else who's trying to learn the most. And they don't. But you're just watching it all happen. You're watching everybody else get trapped in this idea that they can be the best. And you're just in the back of the class and you're the one passing the test. And you're crazier than the rest. Because you decided to take one. It doesn't need to make any sense to make some sense, you know. It just kind of works. When you stop trying to make that be the thing that defines your worth. Oh, shoot. It's as real as it gets. It's as obvious as it is once you see it. Oh, shoot. Throw him in the loony bin. Put the cuffs on again. Try to stop the kid from doing this. Because he's harming my expectations. Great. That was the goal. To shoot for the moon and land somewhere a few miles from where you started. And on your walk back home, you realize you never needed to leave. Except to learn the lesson that you never needed to leave.